So you see what's happening is as long as I can get that pull-off in there, and then the big thing is the attachment from the second back to the first string, which is done with that push that we've talked about so many times. You're pushing through. Okay? So you're getting 2 notes for the price of 1 pick. So you're getting... So with 2 picks right there, I'm getting 4 notes because I'm doing a pull-off. So I have... Then what I do is I simply go from 8 to 5 on the second string as well, so it mirrors what I'm doing on the first string, like this. So my entire lick is... So it's a really effective speed lick, and you're really not putting that much effort into it. You know, the big thing is as we've talked about before in the first section of this series, is those pull-offs, getting your fingers strong, being able to do real strong hammer-ons, real strong pull-offs. In this case, we're doing that pull-off, and then doing the 2-note attachment with that down pick. And then the next 2, now it's up to you whether or not you'd want to pick these 2 as a down strum or whether you'd want to pick it as an up strum. If you remember in one of the earlier licks, we also talked about playing inside the strings or outside the strings. Okay? In this particular case, if I played the second string as an up strum, then I'm inside the strings. I'm in between there, and it makes it a little bit faster to move. But the big secret to that lick is that push down. Okay, you just keep practicing pushing through. You don't stop. You just force yourself to push through. And then, of course, what we can do is take that and move it anywhere we want. So let's take a look at the 5th position of pentatonic. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to do the exact same lick right here. I can go to the first position, do the same thing like I just did. I can go to the second position. Now the cool thing is I could do those in any one of those positions if I was jamming in there, and then lead into another lick as we've been talking about. Or I could attach each one of those patterns, fast or slow, it's entirely up to you. I could attach them to move myself up the fretboard. Maybe I move up a long way, or maybe I just move up a little ways to get me into a new position to do one of the other licks that I was talking about. So for instance, watch this. Now if I did that same thing a little bit faster, so I could move through there, and then I could add one of my other licks, like this one. Remember this one? I could use that right inside there. See? So that's the beauty of it, is as long as you're looking at that tablature, you could take number 16 and you could attach it to number 32, or you could take number 20 and attach it to number 45. You just figure out visually where you want to go. And of course the beauty is that they're all written in the key of A, so you can play over the jam tracks that I'm supplying you, and you can do any of these licks at any given moment in time. The only thing you have to decide is whether or not you want to give it a 3 feel, a triplet feel, or a 4 feel, right? So if I was doing, you'll notice it's 2 groups of 3. Now that doesn't mean that the lick can only be done in a grouping of 3, or 6 in this case. You know, you could be playing over something that feels even, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Half the fun of those are, if you were thinking in terms of eighth notes and you were playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, instead of playing a pattern that fills that entire thing, this is only going to take 6 of those 8, right? So it starts over early. That's what makes it sound kind of fun. So when you're jamming over a rhythm, you see? So that's the great thing about these, is you can use them in groups of, or patterns of 3 or patterns of the 4. Remember, 3 becomes 6, and 6 becomes 12, and so on. 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. And those are the 2 things in all of our licks that we keep talking about. When you try and solo over something, the first thing you got to do is figure out the key. The second thing you got to do is figure out the rhythm of your song. And your song is either going to feel like a shuffle, which is a triplet, 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 or it's going to feel like a straight rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And it doesn't matter whether it's rock, it doesn't matter if it's blues, doesn't matter if it's hard rock or metal, you know, it's always going to have that feel. See, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So when I'm playing licks, I'm going to base my licks off of that. So if I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... If I'm feeling really daring, I might go twice that fast. So if I went 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... See, that's the great thing about getting that right hand technique down is there's so many things that you can do. They sound great, but they're really not that hard to do. So keep taking a look at that and see what you can do with it.